Alright, so now in patch 6.2, you can solo the Suzaku fight without echo. This is very helpful if you want to farm this, because before, in patch 6.05, you can already solo it, but it takes 25% echo, which means that you need to start the fight, wait for 3 minutes, die, and then repeat this 5 times to get that 25%, which is very tedious and not very feasible if you want to farm this. But now you can just, head in and start fighting and hopefully get the drop that you are after, be it the mount or the feather. So this is my attempt. I will be sharing some tips and tricks I found along the way to hopefully help you achieve this as well. It is not that difficult, but it still takes a bit of practice and skill. I did this on Gunbreaker. My eye level was 621. It should be fairly easy on Warrior and Paladin as well. The main difficulty of this is the Phantom Flurry, which is a tank buster that gives you the physical Vaughn debuff, which makes you take a ton of damage from the auto attacks that comes afterwards. Warrior and Gunbreaker just have no issues mitigating and healing themselves from that. Paladin is a bit weaker on the mitigation side, but they can just clemency themselves, so that's pretty easy. For Dark Knight, I haven't tested it, but it should be fairly difficult because first of all, they're all physical damage, so Dark Mind won't work, and secondly, the auto attacks as well as the Phantom Flurry buster itself, they are all multi-hit, right? So the Blackest Night doesn't work as well as a fixed percentage mitigation, such as Heart of Corundum, Sheltron, Bloodwedding. On this character, I do not have Dark Knight leveled to 90, and on my other character that has Dark Knight, I do not have the Four Lord quest series unlocked, so I cannot test this either way, but it is very likely that it is not possible on Dark Knight at this current patch at least, or it will be very difficult compared to the other 3 tanks. So my advice is just use any of the 3 other tanks for this. So the first part kind of just passed by, there's nothing of note there except for you invoke the 4 little birds. And also for this DDR phase, try to get all 10 stacks of damage up, because it will just help you kill the boss faster and avoid further mechanics. Alright, now this is the second phase, and this is where things start to get a bit more difficult. From the start, there's nothing of note here. I used Corundum here because it's just free. I won't be needing it in 25 seconds, so why not? This draws you in, so make sure you either walk to the edge before the cast bar finishes, or you use anti-knockback like I did. Alright, for Gunbreaker, make sure you pop your Camouflage, Rampart, and Heart of Corundum here, so that they can come off cooldown later. Phantom Flurry, just dodge to behind the boss. And now as soon as the final hit go out, use Nebula. The boss will do a arena transition. When it's about to finish, use Reprisal and Heart of Corundum. Alright, now this is pretty easy. Just look for the bird and look at the color that the bird will be flying over and dodge it. The bird will always go clockwise in case you didn't know, so you don't need to think about which direction it will be going. You need to move pretty fast if the 2 tiles are exploding one after another, so just be careful of that. If you get hit though, it's not the end of the world, you can just keep going. It won't matter too much with the current eye level. This is a knockback, so stay close to the boss and got close back for the uptime, or just use anti-knockback, whichever you prefer. But if you used it for the first one, then you won't be back up for this. So now we will have a forced march mechanic, which is pretty easy. Just make sure you don't march off of the platform, don't march through the middle. You will be getting 4 seconds of downtime during the march, so some people might be tempted to hold their burst, but don't do that. It will be very bad for later, so just use your burst off cooldown. After this party stack, there will be a tank buster. I used Camouflage and Corundum here, but if you are doing this, it's probably better to use Rampart and Corundum just now. And then after Phantom Flurry is over, I use Rampart. But you should, if you used Rampart earlier, then you should use Camouflage here, because Camouflage is better against auto attacks. The boss will do another arena transition. After it's over, use Reprisal and Corundum to mitigate the one last auto. This is a knockback. And just watch the bird, it will always go clockwise and dodge the floor. Alright, this is another Phantom Flurry. For this we won't have much mitigation, so I used Corundum here to block the Phantom Flurry. And after Phantom Flurry, use Nebula to mitigate the auto attacks. Nebula and Reprisal. Because honestly, the auto attacks is what hurts more. And now a 2-minute window is coming up. Make sure you start this 2-minute window off cooldown. Because if you didn't, you will see what's going to happen. So now we will have 4 towers, but obviously we cannot take those 4 towers, so just ignore them. There's also a knockback during this. It could be a knockback or a draw-in effect. When the tower explodes, they give us 4 stacks of damage down, which is why you cannot delay your burst. If you delay your burst, you will be bursting during the 4 stacks of damage down, and that's pretty terrible. Alright, this is another floor, but this time we will also have this cleave first, and then there will be a forced march. So at this point, you should look for the last tile that's going to explode and stand on the last tile. So for me, it's black tile, so I stay on black. So I start marching from black and then march into whichever direction that doesn't get you killed. This is a draw in, so I don't have anti-knockback here, so I will just go to the edge. This is just 4 tiles exploding with nothing in particular. Oh, there's the tank buster for this one. My invuln has come back up, so I just use that. I won't use it quite yet because with no mitigation I can take 2 auto attacks. So after 2 autos, I pop my invuln, pop my Aurora, and then when my invuln is about to finish, I will use Corundum so that I can just get some of that mitigation. After your Aurora runs out, use another one. You want to be healed up to full before the next buster. This is a draw in, so I just go to the edge or use anti-knockback. I'm using Heart of Corundum on cooldown here to heal myself. Right, this is a party stack and tank buster. Right, this is the final tank buster, so I just use all my remaining cooldowns, which is Nebula and Corundum. After this, there's not much more because I killed the boss in like 30 seconds. Oh, my HP looks very dangerous here because I pressed Aurora a bit late. If I pressed it earlier, right, I would have gotten more regen and I would have been more healthy. But anyways, thanks for watching. I hope this video has been helpful. And bye bye.